Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. And this is the opportunity for you guys, as the cricket fans, to choose your 11. The 11 that you'd like to see play in the fourth T20I between South Africa and India. Now, it's very important that you guys pick a team that, for me, is the best team that is available according to the squad. Now, that's going to be very difficult for you guys to be able to be unbiased and pick the players that you think is the right players for this particular match. And that's what we're going to be doing on today's show. I'll be putting the poll up in the comment section for you guys to vote. And you guys can vote together and say which, for each position, which you would like to see play in this particular match. I'll be only picking team players from the squad itself. This is only from the squad itself. And I want to see what you guys will do. We're going to assume that Quinton de Kock isn't ready for this particular match because we're not 100% sure if he's clear or not. So I want to see what you guys will do if Quinton de Kock is not available. So let's be honest and smart about the selections and see what we come up with. But before we get going, before we get started, please click subscribe. Please click that notification bell for all future videos. Also, don't forget to download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. I'd also like you to smash that like button, comment, and share with all your friends and family. It's very important that you do so to help us out. And also become a part of the community by joining the Patron account. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. You can also go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all future updates. Okay, guys, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for you guys to see what you guys will do and see what you guys will select. Let's get straight into today's video. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. And today we're going to be playing an interesting game with you guys. It's called the team selection game. For the guys that haven't played this game before, what we will be doing is we'll be putting up a few polls in the live chat for you guys to do your voting, so that we can try and find out who is the best possible team that can be selected for South Africa going into this next match. Now, I want us to select a team with no Quinton de Kock and no Markram. That's going to be the key for this, because we're not 100% sure if Quinton de Kock is fit, and we know that Markram has been sent back to South Africa. So the best way to do this is to see what are our options, what are our real options when Quinton de Kock isn't available, because this going on with Riza Hendricks and Temba Bavuma as an opening pair is not very wise, I think, going forward, unless both can find a way to play at a faster strike rate and do something more destructive in the power play. But let's start with that first. Just follow the poll, guys. You'll see what the names are that you guys need to select. I'm going to start with opening partners. Now, I'm going to try to be as realistic as possible over here. I want us to be as realistic as possible as well within means. We know that Temba Bavuma is the captain, and we know that he's going to be selected. But for this particular occasion, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to pick 1 and 2. I think that will probably be the best option over here. So so let's go with regards to that. I'm going to put all the openers on the screen. The ones that get the first vote and the second vote, the second highest vote, those are the 2 players that we're going to pick for as the opening positions. So that's the rules for the opening slot. So I'm going to put in the guys that are available for that position. Now, it will be Temba for me. It will be Riza for me. To add another option, I'm going to be putting Rassi there. And another option could be, which I saw on social media, is Parnell as an opener. Those are the options that we currently have for opening batters. The 2 that you pick will be the 2 openers that we will be picking as our 2 openers in the team. So the first poll is up. What would you do, Aditya, if this was the option for you as the two openers? What do you think will be? Let's be as realistic as possible. Try and be as realistic as possible as a fan base. You can pick whatever you want to. Um, Realism would be a lot easier and a lot better to discuss. But let's see what the poll does dig up. Aditya, what would you be your choice?
I There's no choice. I think it has to be Reza and Temba.
Okay,
Unless you,
interesting.
unless someone comes up with this magical combination that no one can ever think of, I don't see that changing. Reza and Temba. And
Okay.
Temba also specified that right at the post-match presentation. He said Reza is Quinton's replacement, and he's going to back him. So I'm pretty sure that it's going to be him.
hmm So far in the poll so far, out of the votes that have been there, it's split. It's split 33% between Temba, Rassi, and Parnell. So at the moment, Riza hasn't even been selected as one of the options here, Aditya. So I think that the fan base is probably looking at something very different here that they want to go with. Let's see what they come up with for this two openers. So far, only half of the people have voted for this particular thing. The guys, please note that the poll will be in the live chat for you guys to vote for the position that you'd like to see, or the two openers that you'd like to see. Number one and number two will be selected as the opening pair. So let's see what you guys come up with. The voting system is still open. You know, it really depends on what South Africa's method is, or South Africa's strategy is, when it comes to opening the batting and having partners. Because I would like to see in the future having a similar game plan, even when plan A doesn't work. So having a backup there in case of either or losing the opportunity to play. So to have a versatile batter that can play both roles should be an option in the squad in the future. I think particularly for the World Cup. Um, because we saw in the World Cup as well, it did hamper us a little bit as well when we had the two slower batters on top. Now, I don't necessarily um, use the term anchor when I think about Temba's role as a player in this team. Anchor is more someone that I feel maintains his wicket throughout the game and makes sure that he stays in with it as deep as possible and bats through the innings and sees where he goes. I don't think that should be Temba Bavuma's role. I think Temba Bavuma's role needs to be a more of an adaptable player type of vibe, if that is even a thing. So I'd like to see Temba Bavuma kind of foil Quinton de Kock. If Quinton de Kock is going and he needs his partner to go with him, I want Temba to be that partner that supports him in the way that he needs to. If that is by scoring boundaries and finding ways to score in the power play to take pressure off Quinton de Kock, then so be it. If it is to just make sure that he rotates the strikes and gives all the strike to Quinton, if Quinton is hitting the ball perfectly, then so be it. If he needs to take responsibility as the main person to attack while Quinton is struggling on the other end, I would like to see him do that too. So a more of adaptable kind of play I would like to see. And we need to obviously pick a backup player instead of Temba that can do a similar type of role if he's not available. And when Quinn is not available, someone that can really attack as well. In this current squad, I don't necessarily see that. I think the closest person to being to trying something crazy is probably playing Parnell, who's done it already as an opener for his province in the past, etc. It is an option on the table that people have been thinking of if you really want to go left field. But and then another one is Rasif van der Dussen, who has to now play in T20 international cricket, maybe out of his comfort zone, and play as an opener. Do you think that Tarasi has the attributes to be able to play as an opener, Aditya? Do you see it within him?
I do, but to be perfectly honest, that's not the change that I'm hoping South Africa will make in the 11. Because personally, I feel like Rassi has done well playing at 4 and or 3, but that's not the change that I would personally like South Africa to make. We'll probably get there when we discuss number 3, I guess.
hmm I guess so. So at the moment, the poll is still going. People are still voting. Temba Bavuma has 27%. Oh, it's changed now. Temba Bavuma has 25%. Rassi has 33%. Riza has 25%. And Parnell has 17%. So I'm going to take the votes I'm going to give you guys another 30 seconds to vote, and then we'll decide on who the two are that will be opening the batting. So far, it's Rasi and Riza that I mean, so far it's Rasi and Temba that is winning this vote. Um, and yeah, the rest we'll have to wait and see who the second partner is because we are taking the top two options available. So it is taking some time for the fans to vote and make their decision. But so far it seems to be Rasi and Temba that is winning this race. I'm waiting. I'm giving you another 10, 20 seconds, no, 20 seconds or so, guys, to vote. Let's see. Let's give you 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So I'm going to end that one. It's going to be Temba and Rasi that people have selected to want to open the batting. It's going against what we think will happen, which I think they will stick with Riza and Temba probably for this next game if Quinton's not available. Cross fingers that Quinton de Kock is available because we need him back in that team. We need him in the side. There's no doubt about that. So at the top of the order, you guys have gone for Temba. And remember, guys, we will get to a stage in this game as well where you guys get to pay a super chat to make a change within the squad, within the team, within the 11. And I will explain that a little bit later once you guys have picked your final team. That's when I will decide. I will explain to you the rules on that. But so far, this is what you guys have gone for. You've got Pavuma and you've got Rasi. Those are your opening batters for this next match. Let's get into the poll again and let's set up the next one. This is going to be an interesting one. This is the number 3 position. What are you guys going to do with this? So now that you've already dropped one of the openers, it makes sense that you'll either have. I'm going to throw Riza into the mix as well as a possible number 3. It's somewhere you could also bat. Rasi will be your opener, so it can't be him. Aiden is going back home, so it can't be him. So you've got Heinrich Klaassen, who possibly can bat up. You've got Riza. You've got David Miller, and I'm also going to throw in Dwayne Pretorius here as an option. I don't think Tristan Stubbs batting this high could be an option right now, but Dwayne Pretorius has been coming in at 3 for the team, so I'm going to throw him in here as well. And I think the number 3 for Dwayne Pretorius, Aditya, it's got to do a lot with what happens in that power play.
Yes, it does. And look, I think sometimes it's okay to introduce a pinch hitter and see where it goes. But personally, in this batting lineup, I would have without Aiden Markram, without Quinton de Kock, and you have Riza and Temba opening. At least in the games, we have Riza and Temba opening. At number 3, I would play Heinrich Klaassen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is an interesting. I think number 3 for Ander Klassen is an interesting one. I do see that happening as well because he does take a couple of balls also to get himself in before he starts going, and we showed signs of that in the last game that he needed to play that type of style of play.
Hmm.
There's an interesting point over here from Lorenzo, and I concur with him. I agree with him because I was a bit upset when this didn't happen in the last World Cup. He says, I personally would have Yanaman in the squad for the World Cup as a backup batter. And that is something that I asked for in the last World Cup. I said, I don't like the fact that Yanaman is sitting on the reserve bench and not in the actual squad because in case something happens, I would like to see another attacking batter come into the side. And then what happened? Quinton de Kock happened. And they needed someone attacking and they played Riza. Now, the problem over here is that we know that Riza is contracted. So they're going to look at their contracted players first before they look at their non-contracted players. Yanaman is not contracted, so unfortunately, that's how things are going to be. I would like to see Yanaman Malan in the squad. I think he is the correct replacement for Quinny because I think that he does um, play a game these days that he does need to be able to bat deep, go deeper into an innings. I don't think he's someone necessarily that always comes out swinging at a high strike rate in the power play, particularly when the spin is on. And I think you will see this by what the opposition does when Janaman comes out to the middle. And they do it to him even in domestic cricket. when he's batting in domestic cricket, they bring out the spinner. Um, so it's interesting to see that if Lorenzo, if Yanaman is contracted, isn't he? So let me just double check if who the national contracted players are um, for the for this season, because that will obviously um, explain to us what is, which is weird if he is. He is and he's not getting selected. That is a proper that's a problem in my eyes. Um, so I don't think that should be happening. Um, let's just bring up that list. I'm sure I can find it somewhere. March 2022. Um, Temba, Dean, Quentin, Riza, Keshaf, Yanaman is contracted. So Aiden, David, Lungi, Andrich, Keegan, Antile Pechelquayo, Dwayne Pretorius, Kagiso Bada Tebray Shamsi, and Rassi van der Dussen. Now that is interesting. Yanaman is contracted. And I don't that is interesting that he isn't being selected even though he's contracted. That's the problem, because that's the whole reason why I said the reason why Riza's getting selected all the time is because he's contracted. Now, is it because they only see Yanaman in ODI cricket here, Aditya? Is that the reason? Is that what they're seeing him for? That's why they're picking him as the opener for ODIs? Because, I mean, I would assume that in the white ball arena, they should be picking him. And the only reason then that means is his form in domestic cricket. And that's maybe why they haven't selected him and they've picked Riza over him, because domestically, Riza's done a better job, maybe. Um, so I'm trying to logic it out and see, because that's quite weird. Yanaman's contracted and he hasn't been selected in the squad. Um, okay, do we look at the numbers and say maybe that's the reason why? I do see South Africa being able to play the number game perfectly fine without Riza Hendricks being selected. I think um, if you have Wayne Parnell playing now, he's added a lot of extra. Timba Babuma being obviously a batter and batting up the order. Got KG Rabada, that's three players of color. You got Tabray Shamsi, and you have Keshav Maras, that's your five players of color. So I don't see them struggling to select players of color. There's an option for you to be able to play another player like Yanaman Malan up the order. So it is strange that he hasn't been selected within the squad. Um, I don't understand why he isn't selected. It is a bit weird, in my opinion. I thought he should have been selected in the last World Cup already. It's strange that he's not been selected. Um, yeah, Werner saying if they only contract him for ODIs, then why can't they contract Faf for only T20Is? Because I think that the T20I contract is a lot more, will be a lot more money valued for a guy like Faf than it will be for a young player like Yanaman Malan playing in formats, if that's the case. But I don't think they only look at him at ODI cricket. I do think they do select him for both white ball and they potentially thinking about him as a test player in the future as well. And I think that's why they've given him and rewarded him with a contract. Um, but still, it is strange to me that he's not within this in the mix and hasn't been given more opportunities in the T20 arena, because I mean he's shown flashes of it and not necessarily his true potential quite yet. But let's get into the voting system, because I'm getting off track over here. At the moment, we've got Heinrich Klaassen winning the race as the number 3 batter. I'm giving you guys another 30 seconds or so to vote, and let's see what you guys come up with. If you guys can get maybe anybody else to be above them. Um, that is really weird. Yeah, it is weird. What is your thoughts on that, Aditya? Because that obviously opens up the door to a whole lot of discussion now. I
I
completely
mean,
forgot that he was one of the new contracted players.
yeah, it is odd, and I wish there'd be some sort of reasoning given to the fans as to why that is the case. Um, because it is important to give Yaneman a long run, right? Like this has happened more than a couple of times where Quinton has not played a T20I game or a T20I series, and Riza has come in to replace him, and we've questioned as to why Riza has come in to replace him. So I think it's a valid question, and it certainly deserves some sort of discussion.
Definitely. Still, Faf is available for ODIs as well. He has only retired from Test. Not
Yeah,
that selectors have been fans of nice farewell, staying Tahir, etc. Yeah, I mean, the whole Faf situation. I mean, I've shown my view on
shocking.
that. I've been saying what my view is on that for a very long time. I've been speaking about them. I even asked Victor himself and Graham, both of them. I asked both of them about it. I've spoke to both of them personally, in person about it, not just putting out a message into the public. I'm talking about directly sitting in front of them and asking them the questions about why. Why is Faf not available? Why is he not being selected? Why is he not in the side? Because I think he would have added that puzzle, and he would have added that piece to the puzzle that we needed to have that solid opening partnership. I think he would have been the perfect partner for Quinton de Kock based on the way he's adapted his game over the last couple of years. So it was a little bit shocking that he hasn't been spoken to, and it was disappointing. But we have to deal with what we have currently, and unfortunately, sometimes those cold decisions that CSA makes, we need to just be okay with it and move on. Not be okay with it, but we need to accept it at least. Um, accept it begrudgingly sometimes and move on and pick the best team that we can available. So that's what we are doing today on today's show.
And I had asked Enoch about it when he was assistant coach about the fast situation.
Hmm.
So I think apart from Boucher, we've pretty much asked everyone involved.
Everybody. I've Victor. I've spoken to Faf. I've spoken to Pat Maroney. I think I have already before at the when he was down in Cape Town. I spoke to some of the players to see how what they feel about it. Strange, strange. Okay, let's finish that one. For number three, I'm going to end the vote. That's Heinrich Klaassen that you guys have picked. Heinrich Klaassen will be your number three batter for this particular game. As you can see, you guys have of course dropped Riza. So number three will be oops, I'm putting Rassi again. My bad. Klaassen for and here we're going to maybe be able to see in the number four position, we might be able to see someone that we've been asking to bat higher up this time around. And this is a perfect opportunity to maybe see that. Now I'm hoping that South Africa get a chance to bat first at some point so that we can really test this batting lineup in this new ideas. But let's move on to the number four position. For me, it's got to be David Miller, and it's got to be Tristan Stubbs. And then I'm going to throw in to have a third option in that number four position. I will throw in Riza as well, just to add an extra option. And then maybe perhaps even you can throw in Dwayne Pretorius to bat a little higher up if you guys want him to. Um, but that's all the batters that are available for us right now that is left after you've picked your top three. So David Miller, Tristan Stubbs, Riza Hendricks, Dwayne Pretorius. I think those are the guys. I haven't thrown Wayne Parnell into that mix because if you're not going to open with the guy and have something different, then probably I see that position where he's batting right now, the perfect position for him. Although the two, having both, I think I would like to see Wayne Parnell and Dwayne come out to the middle together and see what they can do as a partnership. That will be really interesting to see. So the votes are coming in thick and fast right now for the number four batter. Let's see what they do. What would you do? I mean, me personally, it would definitely be David Miller. What is your choice there, Aditya?
Yes, yes, it would be David Miller, undoubtedly.
Mhm, undoubtedly.
Yeah. For a second, I thought that
Awesome.
Rassi was the three, but that's okay. He is opening.
Yeah, he's opening. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see what people come up with within this particular vote. Um, I'll give you guys the rules a little later. Just focus on the poll for now. I'll give you guys one job at a time because otherwise I get confused and I don't even know what I'm doing sometimes. So I think it's going quite smoothly now, quite smoothly. Um, and I think yeah, let's see what happens with you guys with your guys' outcome. I mean, at the moment, South Africa is at the beginning we were like, you know what, we're having issues with the middle order. You know, we were saying, oh no, who's going to finish for us? Who should bat where in that middle order? Who's bat three, four, five, six? What should they do? Should it be Aiden? Should it be Rassi? Should it be this? Should it be Muller bat higher up, etc.? We've had these discussions, and now it seems that our fan base is kind of settled on who they want in that middle order, and they and I think they're quite happy and quite comfortable with the two all rounders. That changes the ball game completely. It just shows having two all rounders that we trust in there at 6 and 7 or at 7 and 8. It really takes the pressure off us as fans to select the rest, because you kind of like feel a little bit more comfortable to experiment a little bit, or to pick attacking batters ahead. You don't need to have these safety nets in the team and within the lineup. So it's nice to see that that is the case with the fan base, that the fan base is also thinking like that. um, so it's interesting to see what will happen in T20s in the same breath. um, Unpopular question: if Temba Bavuma wasn't captain, would we even see him in the T20 squad? Would we even talk about him and T20Is in the same breath? Um, I think that the selectors would, because when the selectors look at the stats, etc., they go deep. They look at domestically, they look at specific to the Lions, they look at what they've done internationally, they look at what the roles are and what roles they need, and then they select the team. So I do think that they would have still selected him, regardless of whether he was a captain or not. Although I do feel currently being captain is kind of saving him in this team based on his recent results. I do think that the captaincy has kind of saved him in recent times, because he's shown flashes of his ability and what he can offer. And I don't think he's been showing consistency in that. And until that, then we cannot speak about his batting as being the main reason why he's in this team. His leadership qualities are so important right now for this team. We need a captain that can really, really lead this bunch of players, because you can see a massive difference since Faf du Plessis now, when Quentin de Kock has taken, I mean, when Temba Bavuma has taken over. Um, he's really showed a true amazing ability to lead this team and bring this unit together. And you can hear what players think about him, and the influence he has on the rest of the dressing room. That allows everybody to be calm and play their natural games without any judgment, or without any forced tactics from Temba's side. From my part, from what I've heard from his captaincy, he allows freedom in his batters. He wants his batters to go out there, and he's not as scared to sacrifice himself in order to get the best out of other batters. And that is a fact from what Timba Bavuma has told us in the past. So I don't necessarily think that that would be the case, Lorenzo. I think that they would have probably still considered him, but I don't think he would have been number one on the list when it comes to picking an opening batter necessarily. Do think the captaincy has saved him to some degree, but especially with the recent form that he's been on. The value that he does add, and I do think that they were looking for a player. They're thinking with the same strategy, um, because they had someone that was more attacking with him. They had someone more attacking with him in Yanaman Malan, and they didn't like it. They've tested it out with Quinny before, and they didn't like that as an option. So clearly they see something, and this should be on Boucher and the selectors, and not on me or any of us. That question should be asked to Boucher and the selectors. What do they see in Temba Bavuma? Why do they keep selecting him if his stats are not matching up? And I haven't heard a journalist ask that question quite yet, actually, to be fair, because we haven't had a chance to ask Mark since he's hearing about things. We've only had really Temba Bavuma in the main press conferences so far that can actually answer that question. So it's interesting to see, because he himself saw himself as that foil for Quentin de Kock, that he could play that role. Um, and I do believe that he can. It's not. I don't think it's a passenger type of thing. I think it's more. I think he can do the role that is required to help Quentin de Kock. We just need to see it happen now. And for me personally, the only logical choice here is to give him till the World Cup. And if he doesn't perform, then we need to start thinking about what we're going to do in the future. Honestly, right now, I do think this team needs a leader. Um, I mean, there was similar talk around Sia Kolisi going into the World Cup. Now you can't compare the two players, of course. Sia Kolisi is an excellent rugby player and an excellent flanker, and can play eighth man even, and can play multiple places in the lineup. But there was a lot of criticism about him leading into the World Cup, saying that he's not the best flank in the country. He's been picked on a captaincy standpoint. And he played a pivotal role in that World Cup, and we ended up winning that World Cup that nobody thought that we could. So I'm hoping that Temba Bavuma can do something similar, that he comes to the fold, that he doesn't choke, that he brings, because I've seen this calmness under pressure from our captain Timba. I think that is so important because we've never won a World Cup. We tend to forget that in the past, we've had all these brilliant captains, we've had all these brilliant players, we've had attacking players, we've had tried different styles. We've had years where we've had very attacking openers. We've had years where we've had the balance with Quinton de Kock and Amala. We've had the times when we've had two attacking players on the top, and it's failed us every single time. South Africa haven't won a World Cup even with these great players and great captains, as we call them. So there always seemed to be a nervousness under pressure from the captain, from the players around in South Africa. That they've choked every single time in every World Cup. So I'm hoping that Temba's calmness under pressure brings a different dynamic to this team that they needed to get over the line. I'm hoping that that will be the case because that will be invaluable to a South African team right now. Um, and some people may even be willing to sacrifice Temba getting 30s and 40s more regularly if his captaincy is going to be that great that will lead us over the line. I think people will be willing to make that sacrifice if the rest of the batting lineup can play with complete freedom and spike up the run rate as required. But let's get into the votes again. See what you guys have voted for. So far, David Miller is number one on the list, and I don't see anybody else getting any more votes for this one. So I'm ending the poll right now. David Miller is going to be the number four um, for this particular team. Let's get going with that. I'm going to put him in there. David. Okay, let's see. So you got Bavuma, Rasi, Klassen, and David. Um, Interesting to see that. I'm a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be a little bit worried about our Rasi as an opener for South Africa with the ball moving the way it is. It's going to. He does seem to struggle with that ball that angles in. He's lost his wicket quite a bit, like that for the Proteas, especially with Boovie there. It tends to get some good seam movement and sometimes even swing out of the pitch. As an India fan, where do you sense the weakness in this batting top four so far, Aditya? What would you target?
I mean, I'd like to see like position number one, and Temba, Klaasen, Rassi, Miller, and thereafter. So to me, the question is about who's that number one. Uh, Rassi as an opener, sure, he can do it. There's no doubt, but I think he's more of an asset in the middle order.
I do think so too. I think Rassi's best position is when we have lost a wicket after some runs on the board and we need someone to reset the innings almost and go out there and try to kick start at the back end or kick it out off at the back end.
I think if South Africa are 30 for two after 6 overs, the game is gone. There's not much you can do, irrespective of who opens. So that's why I feel like Rassi is better suited to the middle order. And again, I'm going to reiterate. I think South Africa should not be 30 for two after 6 overs. If they're 60 for two after 6 overs, that's fine. But don't be 30 for two and then have two new batters at the start of the seventh over and then you know spend like 5 overs rebuilding and then you launch. But it doesn't work like that always.
Mhm,
So that's certainly something that they need to consider.
mhm. Is he saying, hey, Khalid, take my question, will not spam. Let Brevis open with Quinny. How can Temba open when you have a young sensation such aggressive mindset? Because there wasn't an opener. I don't think he's ever opened. So that number three position is a very different position and a very different mindset than as an opener. But also, guys, for this particular activity, Dev was not in the squad. So talking about things that are fictional at the moment is not. I don't think it's conducive to what we need right now to make this activity work. So I'm not going to speak about Deovat right now. I think it's been clear what South Africa thinks of him, what Temba thinks of him. So I think we as a fan base need to learn how to accept things. Um, we don't have to agree with it, and we can criticize it, of course, but I think we do need to accept it as well, and work with what we have available to us too. It's pointless us fighting against CSA all the time and all this negative energy, sending that towards the team instead of supporting the guys that have been selected and are there. It's because it's not their fault; it's the players' faults that they are being selected. They're not going there with a knife to the selector's neck and saying, "You better pick me." Why so serious, son? So it's not like that's not that's not what's been happening. So we have to, have, of course, also support the players that have been selected and not be so like negative all the time, because it's not necessarily their fault that they've been selected. So we support them as a fan base. That's all we can do. So let's see what is happening over here at the number 5 spot. We've got Stubbs and Dwayne fighting it out at the moment. Parnell not getting any votes so far. Um, there are quite a few of you guys tuned in, and not all of you voting. So please note that you'll be voting for your positions, guys. Each position will come up with a final team, and then I'll tell you the rules and the next rules in place after that. So let's get going. Stubbs at the moment is far in the lead over here with 81% of the votes, and it doesn't seem like anybody else is going to be able to catch up with him right now based on the amount of views and the based on the amount of votes that have been made. So I'm going to end the poll and take Tristan Stubbs as the number 5 batter over here. I'm gonna put it down so you guys can see how the team is shaping up. And save. So this is how the team is shaping up right now. Bavuma, Rassie Klaassen, David Stubbs, and number 6 is now the option over here for us to vote for. So let me put the number 6s down, and see who you guys will be picking for that. So we've got number 6, you've got Dwayne, you've got Parnell, got Maharaj. I'm just throwing that into the mix as well, just in case. That's the only options really we have left for the bat. And you've got Riza Hendricks, but nobody, I don't think anybody's going to want Riza to bat it so low in the order. Um, so I'm going to be asking the community about the number 6 position and see what you guys pick for that. Over here, guys, for 6 and 7, I'm going to take your number 1 and number 2. So whoever you voted for, number 1 and 2, as 6 and 7 both, because I feel that it's pretty obvious what's going to happen over here, unless I see that it's not going in the direction that I thought it was, and you guys want to go a little bit left field. But yeah, at the moment, number 6 is Dwayne. Okay, maybe I'll let you guys vote for number 7 too. Just pick your number 6 so far. I think Dwayne Pretorius is getting all the votes right here, which as expected. How impressed have you been with Dwayne Pretorius so far in the series? I'm taking on that responsibility. I think that is probably one of the biggest things that I appreciate and admire about about Dwayne. He takes on pressure that we don't expect him, that we shouldn't expect him to take, and he just takes on the challenge and he doesn't complain about it. When we asked him to be the death bowler in the World Cup, he took the challenge, even though he was recently working on ways to add skills to his game. Then now is the number 3 batter for the side. In difficult circumstances, he comes in and he does it. He's been doing that and been taking on that pressure. So I really like what Dwayne is adding to this team. He's adding balance. He's adding the right attitude. He's the right example for the youngsters. I've been very impressed with Dwayne Pretorius' attitude and his approach and his performances as well in this T20 unit.
I mean, he's shown that he's good with bat. He's excellent at bowler, and outstanding fielder as well. Supremely fit. So there's plenty to like about Dwayne Pretorius, and yeah, long may it last. I'd love to continue seeing him, bat long and bat deep for the team if he comes in at 3. But outstanding.
Yeah. Um, Interesting point Furness making. Yanaman has never opened with Quinny in T20Is. He has opened with Markram and 4 occasions with Riza on 5 occasions. So they haven't been tested as an opening pair yet, Quinton de Kock. We must remember that this format was also used as an experimental format, where we were just throwing in players in different positions. So, I mean, I really thought that this was going to be tested more, seeing that they have played as a partnership at the Blitz. Now, they never necessarily came to the party at the Blitz as we had hoped, as an opening pair. Um, I was hoping that they would complement each other a lot better, the two of them. It didn't come off necessarily like that when they were at the Blitz, but I would like to see how they do it in the international cricket. We've seen how they do in ODI cricket, but not in T20I cricket. What is Janneman's new approach? Because, I mean, like I said, he had a very poor tournament this season when it comes to the domestic setup. And a lot of players were looked at in this tournament because of the conditions that the tournament was played in. It was spinner friendly conditions, and spinners were really doing really well at that competition. And it was a true test to us South African batters that we've been complaining about for a long time, that don't know how to play against spin. We've had that problem for some time. I mean, Graham Smith actually mentioned it in commentary. He said, for a team that has been always talked about as a team that can't play against spin, he's been very impressed with the way these batters have faced spinners in recent times. In every single tour that they've faced, in the West Indies, when they played Pakistan, now that they're playing India in India as well. The way they've performed against the spinners has been very admirable. Um, there's not these crazy. It's not this crazy. Oh my word, we can't even play spin. Look what we're doing. Type of games like where I'm sitting in front of the TV shouting at them, saying, "What are you doing? Why are you playing like that?" Like it hasn't been like that for a very long time when it comes to spin, which is surprising. I've seen South African batters struggle a lot more with the ball that's moving around um, than what I thought. Um, so interesting. Um, Yeah, read the article written by Simon Bouchard. I don't, I read it, but you guys know, I don't know if you guys know the history between me and and the place that he's writing for. So I'm trying not to, as best as possible, trying not to necessarily focus on them and what they're doing. I'm focusing on what I need to do, where I'm going forward. So I've read that piece. It does seem a bit funny that we're only hearing about this now when Temba Pavumas has all of this negativity around him. That this piece conveniently comes popping up. Nothing as was said before this. Nothing was said from this particular website, at least. Nothing was been said before this. Um, so it's only happened right now, coming out right now with this has been said. But I mean, guys, we've been speaking about it for a long. We've been speaking about it on this channel for a while as well. I mean, I've questioned and asked the questions to the guys too. I've only defended Demba the way I've defended Demba because of the type of criticism he's been getting that I feel is not related to his performances. And that's when I stand up and I defend him, because not only does he get criticism and say he's not a T20 player like you guys have been. Like I feel that the way Lawrence, I feel the way Lorenzo, I feel the way some of you guys have in the comment section have criticized Demba was with respect and in the correct manner. But then we've had, and you guys have been witness to this, I've banned people for being racist or being negative or being rude or being unnecessarily nasty towards Temba Bavuma. And it's been happening on social media across the board. Um, so it's interesting. Yeah, and I know a lot of people are giving credit to that the article was spot on. It wasn't very difficult to write an article like that because all the narrative was there in front of you. It was very easy to see on social media. It was very easy for people to be able to see on social media what people are asking for. So to write an article like that, it's not that difficult to come up with that idea. I think Lorenzo would have been able to write an article like that easily on Cricket Fanatics and put it out there and put that opinion out there. I think, to be honest with you, a more accurate article that I feel actually portrays the true stories behind the thought process behind Temba is Lubabalo's article. I think that Lubabalo will be able to give Lubabalo's article is actually a lot better with regards to explaining the reasons behind the selections. Um, and he's been very critical about certain things and mindset. So I want you guys to actually go read that one. Go to Lubabalo's Twitter account. Um, Let me try and find what it is for you guys. Um, He's it's he lost his old account, so he started a new account. The Crick Scholar. Um, so I'm gonna type it in the comment section for you guys, so you guys can see. I want you guys to go read that article because I think that it gives you a lot of proper insight from a cricket coach as well. It's someone that is a cricket coach that has played cricket in the past too. So his understanding of the game is a lot different. So go ahead and follow him. That's the name of his Twitter account. It's not his actual. Um, it's not his actual account name, but I'll put that as well in the live chat. I think I spelled everything right. So go ahead and follow that and go check out that article. I think it's a very good article written. And I'm not denying whether the article that was written is correct or not incorrect. I just think I just feel that it was the suggestions that he gave in the article to replace Temba doesn't help us. So yes, he's saying that Temba is the one that is hampering. He's actually blamed Temba for the entire reason why South Africa's opening batting isn't working. Um, and he's spoken about Temba as being the weak link in the side, and that's why we're not going to be basically winning matches with Temba. That's what was said, which is incorrect in my opinion. But also the suggestions that he gave in Riley Rousseau and Faf du Plessis are fantasy selections. And seeing that this is being written in the middle of a series that we're trying to win, giving those two suggestions doesn't make logical sense to me. To give Faf and Rassi, I mean Faf and Riley Rousseau as options, I feel that's a bit. Yeah, I don't think that's a valid options right now because they're not in the mix. They haven't been spoken to. So I would have liked to see maybe give suggestions on what we can do right now into the next match. Um, in my opinion, like Lubabalo did in his article that he wrote. So that's why I'm promoting Lubabalo's article. Um, and I want to put the other one behind us right now, even though I do think that it was a good article to write in this time as period as well. It is an important article to write, and a good one to pick it out and actually put it out there. It's good vision and good eye, but I don't expect anything like that from it's actually my former boss that wrote that piece. So I don't expect anything less from him to be able to pick out the angle like that and put it out there. Um, but that's what they're known for. They're good at picking out angles that are going to get people speaking about, and they do it. They do that. That's what they do. That's what they're known for. So I'm not a big supporter of what goes down there, but I've never spoken about my journey with that on this channel because I don't want it to be connected. I want those things to be separate. I want my journey over here to be untarnished, and that's so. Yeah, so I don't want to be focusing on other publications other publication that I've worked with in the past. I want this to be as clean as possible, and to make sure that this is your platform, that our ideas and opinions are given freely without us being without it being too um, without it being too controversial necessarily. I don't want to cause controversy and hatred because everybody needs to do what they need to do. Um, because I mean, if I had to say something, there's a lot I could say, but I don't feel that's right to do. I'm not a person that if something hasn't gone the way I thought it would go in my life, and then going back and then being bitter about it. I'll rather put all my energy into the new project that I'm working on, which is Cricket Fanatics Magazine. So let's just move on from that right now. Uh, yeah, so like I want to give you guys credit. My live chat, my Cricket Fanatics Magazine family, I want to give you guys credit. The ones that are here every single day, popping up on my live streams, chatting. You guys have been excellent and with your criticism. And you've gotten me thinking about different things from a different light. I speak to a lot of people, guys, about cricket every day. Journalists, friends of mine in the industry, cricketers, professional, non-professional, proteas, non-proteas. I speak to a lot of administrators. I speak to a lot of people about cricket, and I get a lot of different ideas that kind of I've taken parts of and formulated my own idea of what I believe is my observation of how things should be or opinion on how things should be. And you guys have come here, given me your opinions and your criticisms in the live chat that have opened up my mind to different avenues and different ideas to think about going forward. So I really appreciate it because you guys have done it with respect. And the reason you guys are still here and still commenting freely without me banning you or putting you in timeouts is because I think that you guys have been very respectful. Now, yes, do we get to be heated if we disagree with each other? Of course, we are family. It's going to happen. But you've done it with respect, and I appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot from all of you. So thank you guys. Smash a like on the button for your guys and for you guys and how you guys have supported it and supported everybody in this. But that doesn't mean that we must ignore what other fans that are not part of this family are doing and are saying and how they're acting on social media. Because you can't just ignore that and say that that's invisible. It's also our it's also our responsibility as a fan base to protect our players as well from unfair and 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 disgusting behavior that happens on social media. I think we as fans need to rally behind some players and protect them as well. Because not only is it Temba that gets this reactions, there are other players too that get this um like insane reactions according to their performances that I think we need to protect our players from. That's why we're giving all players and professional cricketers, etc., semi-pro cricketers, and others, non-semi-pro cricketers, a platform to have a view and a say and give their opinions and tell their stories. It's the one place where I feel that they can openly and freely do that. Okay, I had a voting poll going. Dwayne Pretorius has won that one. Maharaj even's got a sneaky vote as well. So I'm ending that vote now. 95% is gone to Dwayne. So it's pretty simple who should be the number six. I'm talking so much today, Aditya, and you haven't stopped me. You need to stay, hey, Khalid, you're talking too bloody much here. I also want to get some words in. Put on your mic and just talk over me, bro. So at the moment, we've got Dwayne. Let's move on to number six. Sorry, number seven. I think this will be pretty straightforward for me. I mean, how excited are you? How happy are you guys for Wayne Parnell? Um, for how he's come into the system and just fitted into this team so seamlessly. I feel with the ball and with the bat, his role is there, and he's taken to it like a duck to water. I feel. Um, I mean, we tend to forget what Wayne Parnell was like. We talk about. I was having a conversation with Zaire, actually, someone that you guys know from the channel, and he was telling me about Wayne Parnell. We all talking about Deva Brevis and how big Deva Brevis is, getting an IPL contract at such a young age, coming off a World Cup and being so amazing with the bat, etc. Um, we've all spoken about it, but we forget that Wayne Parnell was one of those superstars back in the day too. When he was in the 1919 team, he was the star player. He did everything for them. Batted, he bowled, he fielded well, he captained as well. He was incredible, and he also got an IPL contract at a very young, as a teenager too. So he was a play. He's a player that he's one of those players that you hope are not the ones that you say that are forgotten players. Players that you've forgotten about in the future. So, I mean, do you remember Wayne Parnell around that time when he got his IPL contract, Aditya?
I think 2009 or something like that. And did he play for the Kings 11 Punjab at the time?
I can't remember exactly who he
I
played for,
think
to be
I
honest.
think he's played for one or two teams. I think he's played for Kings 11 Punjab. He's played for the Pune Warriors India at the time. He might have even had a contract with Mumbai, if I'm not wrong. Let me check. Uh, but I'm fairly certain he played for Punjab and Pune. Um,
Yeah. Because I mean, in the past, I felt like there was a lot of pressure
Yeah.
put on him as the main bowler in the team, opening the bowling, etc. I mean, even the stuff, the footage that they showed from previous times he played for South Africa, he was given that responsibility as one of the main bowlers in the team, almost that KG role, Anrichno type of vibe. I feel he's a lot. He suits the team a lot better now because they can, with so many versatile roles that these our fast bowlers play, they can switch things around. We've seen it. We've seen the death bowler switched around, opening bowler switched around, who they bring on in the middle overs. We have the adaptability within our bowling lineup now to be able to pick guys in different periods in the game and switch it around. We've got the skill available to us. And I think that Wayne Parnell fits this unit a lot better than he fitted the unit back then. I think there was too much responsibility or expectations on Wayne Parnell back then than it is now. I feel that he's also much more equipped to deal with the pressure now than he ever has been. He has the experience. He has the understanding of the cricketers around him. He knows the players. He understands what makes them tick and what gets the best out of them. So I think he forms the perfect person over here that we actually needed. We were obviously expecting a younger person to step up in that all-rounder role. We've been waiting for how long for Andile to step up and to make that role his own, and he hasn't just done it. We've waited for domestic players to step up too and be more consistent. It just hasn't happened at the degree of what Wayne Parnell has been doing across all formats for these teams for the Blitzer season. He's played well in every single format. So it is difficult because to compete with that, and others need to start competing. We need to find that next generation of talent as an all rounder. We're still waiting for Jason Smith to step up. Rwanda Swat to step up, Delano Potgieter to step up. They've had flashes of brilliance in the season, but we need more consistency from our guys in that position. Wayne Parnell has 100% of the votes over here, so I don't think we're going to still faff around with this one. Faff around with this one, pun intended. So I'm going to end this poll and leave Parnell as the number 7 batter. Is it number 7? Am I right? Yes, it is. So Wayne Parnell, and then for number 8, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, let's move on. The next poll is going to be for the number 8 position. I think it's pretty simple, but let's see what you guys do. If you guys decide to do something else in the madness, number 8, we've got Maharaj, KG, Lungi, oopsie, sorry, Anrich, and Lungi. Those are the 4 options for that number's position. I don't see Tabrei Shamsi batting at 8 guys. So that's the poll right now. Do your vote. I think it's going to be pretty simple what you guys are going to vote for. Um, do you think that it's the right decision for South Africa to play with 2 spinners in this particular series so far? Or do you think that we may
Yeah.
be missing a trick to play an extra batter?
No, I think it's fine. I mean, think about it. In the first game, you didn't really need the extra batter. Miller and Rassi Edison sorted it out. In the second game as well, you know, one batter took responsibility, finished it off. And you look at the third game, would an extra batter really have helped? I don't think so, because it's too much. So I don't know. I think in a T20 game, as much as we talk about batting deep, the one element of the game that hasn't really changed is the fact that batters still need to get in. And whether you have 7 batters or you have 9 batters, I don't think that's ever going to change. And if those 7 batters can take that responsibility, it should be good enough for the day.
I mean, that is the one aspect in general that we can speak about in this T20 game. Getting in is the problem. And we see it with our batters struggle with regards to that. Oh, flip. I forgot about Marco Janssen. Like, he's also in the squad. Um, but maybe if you guys want to see him in afterwards, you can vote him in. Um, completely forgot about putting him on the list. for the number 8 slot. We could actually take off Lungi Ngidi, or one of the others over there. Oops, sorry guys. Oh, that was a mistake. Um, but yeah, so far Maharaj is winning this vote. Um, I mean, that is another option. Is having three all rounders. Batting right down till eight with having Janssen in the team provides that option as well. Being able to bat quite low, bat till eight almost. I mean, that option is there in the future if you can really, really get more consistency with the ball at hand. I mean, that could be a very deadly lineup that we're building there with KG and maybe another, and then your spinner.
See, to have multiple all rounders, in my view, the conditions will determine that, right? Because you have one all rounder, that's a requirement. Two all rounders, fair enough. That depends on performance. You have your third all rounder, that will be entirely dependent on conditions. So, would Marco Janssen really have been the best option for South Africa in that third game? I don't know, because you look at both sides and felt like the slow deliveries were the ones that were causing problems. The spinners were causing problems.
But I think he has something extra that maybe Anrik Nokia doesn't have, and that's that natural bounce
Height,
and
yeah,
height. Yeah, so like that, I think would have maybe added a little spanner into the works, and I think that if
yeah.
his bowling can be up to standard to be picked on as a bowler as alone, then I think having him at that number 8 or 9 position is amazing for South Africa because he can hit the ball as well. He can hit a long ball. Adds a little bit extra that what Lungi doesn't add or what Andik doesn't add. Um, and if Marco can really work on his bowling and become lethal with the ball in the hand, we'll be picking all rounders right until 8, 9. So I think that is something that South Africa need to think about in the future, perhaps, because we have really good all rounders that can bowl really well too. That is coming through the system here that we need to give opportunities because if we can battle 10 and still have bowlers that can actually bowl properly, we're not just picking all rounders that can bat. Like I don't think that we can have three Dwayne Pretoriuses, but I think we can have three Parnells, you know, going down till 9, because I think Parnell has the attributes that we need in some of our all rounders. We're looking for that number 8. We were hoping that Andile would be able to do that position, but he hasn't come to the party. So I think Marco can learn a lot from Wayne Parnell, and I think it would be the perfect replacement for him in the past. But I think there might be some games where we could test all three batting there in the future, perhaps. If Andrich's space is not conducive, like he is being plastered all over the park at the moment, but he's getting wickets still, which is important. And but when he doesn't, that's when it's going to be the discussion's going to come in whether maybe Marco, because his pace is a little less, he has a slower Yorker, he has a slower delivery that he's trying to ball, and he has that steep bounce. He might provide in Australia, particularly, he might be able to create a different type of issue for the opposition than what we expect. I mean, even him and Maharaj could be the position that we talk about. Maybe some games we only need one spinner if we have Aiden Markram in the team. And that's why it's so important to have a batter that can bowl as well, that can spin as well, can add variation as well, because that will throw out the entire system. It will change the whole system up, which is interesting. Um, at the moment, Maharaj is winning this one, so I'm putting Maharaj in here. We're going to end the poll, and Maharaj is going to be the guy that we guys have picked at the number 8 position. Let's put it, oops. Ish. I was going to say Kish. 9. Um, Save. Let's move on. So now we've got the number 9 position. Um, see what you guys do here. I'm going to put in Marco. I'm going to put in KG. I'm going to put in Heinrich. And I'm going to put in Lungi for the number 9 position. Ask the community, see what you guys come up with. And yeah, let's see what you guys vote for. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about Marco and what he can provide to this protest team in the future.
Look, I think Marco is an outstanding he's an outstanding prospect. There's no doubt about it. But just given the fact that he's I think what 20, 21, and still learning about his game, he should be given that space, and he'll get his turn. There's no doubt about it. But personally, I would like to see Marco do more with the bat. That's something that is missing. We've seen what he's done with the ball in the IPL, and he really has been devastating when the pitches had a little bit to offer. But I think there can be some work done on small grounds with the wet ball and when his team is defending. So he'll learn in time, but I think I'd like to see him bat more. I'd like to see him play that finisher's role as well.
Yeah, interesting. I would like to see that too. Yeah, I'll never forget. I always bring up this example when I went to go watch Durban Heat bat in the Nets, and he was playing for Durban Heat at the time. And I was video recording, and he was hitting the ball. He was hitting the ball so bloody hard, like that ball was flying low and hard, like he was connecting the ball with such power, and it seemed like he was smacking the ball with much power, but it was pure timing. He was just solid in his shots and follow throughs. I was very impressed, and I was like, "This boy can bat. This boy can bat." And I just feel that he needs to find a way to improve that while he's still improving his bowling, because they're very difficult disciplines, to be able to get both done is tough. I've spoken to all rounders in the past. I think there was an interview actually I did with Dwayne Pretorius on this channel back when the Paul Rocks had their launch. I had an opportunity to go to some of their practices, and I interviewed Dwayne Pretorius, and I asked him about that, the two disciplines, and being able to give both attention. And that was you could say, in his development of becoming the player that he is right now. And I think it's very interesting for you guys to maybe go back and watch that interview. It's in the exclusive section on this channel. He gives some nice insight into that, and also, I also spoke to him about some private things that I've heard about him with regards to other all-rounders within his team at the time at the Lions when he was still there. So it's a very good interview. It gives you some nice insight into all-rounders. And if you guys are interested in that type of content, learning from our heroes, then go to our exclusive section. We get some excellent info in that particular articles on this channel too. The votes are going in. Marco is winning the votes actually currently over KG for that number 9 position. I'm going to give you guys another 20 seconds or so, 10 seconds or so to vote, to complete the votes. And let's see what you guys come up with regards to that. So that's 10, 9, 8. And we're not going to vote for number 11, guys. We all know that's going to be Shamsi. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And in poll. So for number, where are we now? Okay. So for number 9, we put in Marco, and we need to move on to number 10 now. And I'm going to put in number 11 already, which is Shamsi. So it's basically just the number 10 position, guys, that you guys need to fill right now. That's the team that you guys have so far. We just need to complete that number 10. Let me know what you guys think for the number 10 position. That will be between one more poll left. The number 10 position will be between KG. It will be between Heinrich. It will be between Lungi. You want to put some money on this one? Who's going to win this one, Aditya? I think Ryder Rousseau is going to win this one.
No, brother. I think AB de Villiers is going to make a comeback.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty much simple. Apologies. It's going to be very simple. For this one, I think KG wins it outright, in my opinion, and actually not. I thought that it will be a lot more straightforward. So our fans are already thinking about this one. Eh? KG is only 67%. Get your votes in, guys. Smash the like button, share, subscribe, do all of those thingy lingies. If you want to know any articles, any things that we put up on this channel, you click that notification bell as well. That's how you'll get notified when we go live, when we put up a new video, etc. I've uploaded anything, it's right there. So yeah, this team is shaping up quite nicely. Aditya, do you want to speak about it? Just give your insight into this team so far. Maybe you can start mentioning some of the changes that you might have made, what your 11 would have been. That would actually help us out a lot.
I mean, look, I think as I stated earlier, I would not have Rassi open the batting. I'd have him at number four. Um, and there's not much we can do if Riza is the backup opener, right? So I'd have Riza and Temba open, give them the license to go as hard as they can in the first 6 overs. If it clicks, it clicks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Klassen comes in at three, ups the tempo. Rassi at four, Miller at five, stops at six, and so on. And that would have been my ideal level. But no, I don't think this is a bad team. Um, yeah, it's fine.
You know what, Dave? What I'm thinking as well is what interests me is the fact that it's also about mentality, right? Actually, in this situation, we could be saying, oh no, but there's a lot of pressure on the two openers. In my opinion, though, however, the shackles are off. They literally got free reign to do what they want right here. So let's see how attacking they can be. So if I was the coach right now as Boucher, I would tell both Riza and Timba if those are going to be the openers for that they're going to pick. Go for it. Let's see what you guys can do. Don't play with shackles on. Don't think about anything. Go and play a natural game and let's see what you guys come up with. Let's see how good you can be. We know this is not our first 11, our opening choice pair as an opening partnership. Go and play a game that suits you. How do you want to play this game called T20 cricket? And that would be my instructions to both openers, because putting them together and playing them is a risk. Give yourself the best possible chance of succeeding. Best possible way to do that is to allow you to play with freedom. So that's what I would do, and that would be my instructions to these players, um, when it comes to that. So yeah, where am I now? I just want to put this team together. I mean, we there was a lot that we learned about this from Dewald, actually. The thought processes, the instructions that they were given, Aditya.
Yeah, absolutely. We did. And look, it's also a matter of execution, right? Like cricket is, in a lot of ways, a confidence game. And the more frequently you can get off to good starts and good form, the better it is. But I don't know how confident Riza and Temba are at the moment.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I mean, in my head, I mean, as a sportsman, I mean, everybody obviously competes with each other. My mentality is plain and simple. It's, do you want to be in this team? Then show me what you are capable of. Don't go in there scared of losing your wicket, because you're never going to show the fans, you're never going to show the coaches, you're never going to show your teammates what you can actually provide to this particular team. What role do you feel that you can add to this particular role? What can you do? So show us what you are capable of doing. And I think it's more so on Riza to show that he's better than Timba rather than the other way around. I think there's less pressure on Timba. And I feel that Timba has there's only one way for Timba, and that's up. Literally. So I don't understand why he doesn't just go out there and play a style of cricket that he feels comfortable with, that he thinks should be the way you should play in this format. Um, so I think that's what they need to do. Play with no shackles on. That's very, 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 very important in my eyes. Um, so yeah. What's the poll reading so far, Aditya? Do you have it open for you?
Okay. Yeah. So the team that the ball is selected, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, who did they select for that number 10
Okay.
slot? KG.
Yes. That's KG.
Okay, cool. Sorry, man. I'm just busy trying to do the graphic for you guys so that I can pop it up on the screen. Um, and then we can start the game part the fun part of this particular episode. Obviously, it's my favorite part, and you guys know why. Uh, Gold digger over here. Um, so I would like to see what you guys think about this particular one, and what you think about this team. Um, where you guys see them. Did I not download it or did I now exit before I downloaded? Aditya, you need to answer the question for me like you are here. Um, uh, trying to get it to you guys now. Just hold on. Um, what did I do? Did I do something funny? Why are they saying 71%? Oh, is it 71% to KG? Yeah, 71% to KG. Interessant, interessant, interessant. Interesting in Afrikaans, if you guys don't understand what I'm saying. Sorry. Um, Still have a lot of improvement, so if anybody wants to teach me Afrikaans, um, preferably of the opposite gender, then I would like to learn Afrikaans. Okay, so let me see.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
This you know what team I bet for. uh, Hey, Lawrence, this was a present, eh? I didn't pay for this myself, this gateway jacket. This was a gift um, to me. So, yes, I need all the, I need all the help I can get as much as possible. Let me this, put this up quickly on the screen. Okay, Aditya, do you need to go? If you do, then that's okay. I'll continue from you. Thanks a lot for tuning in, Aditya, and coming on the show with me and having a chat. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow for all of the review stuff and etc. Um, Cheers, bro. So yeah, it's just me with you guys now. You see, you get me on the stream for long, like this for an hour, 70 minutes. You're gonna get me saying a lot of stupid things that I don't mean to say. So be careful. You need to keep me short and sweet. Um, so I'm going to put up this on the screen what you guys have selected as your team. You've got Temba Bavuma, Rassi van der Dussen, Andy Klaassen, David Miller, Tristan Stubbs, Dwayne Pretorius, Wayne Parnell, Keshav Maras, Marco Janssen, Kagiso Rabada, and Debray Shamsi. So that's the 11 that you guys have picked by voting in the poll. So now let's see what happens with you guys and this game that we play on a regular basis. And that is your team selection game. So, how does it work? So I've showed you guys the team that you have selected. You guys have picked the following team. I will put up on the screen as well so that you guys can see. Oh yes, I need to end that poll as well. To be honest, just in that poll. So how this works is, guys, I put up the full team on the screen, and if you guys want to make any amendments, it's something called, you guys have to obviously um, it's like our little auction that we have. Um, so let's see what happens with regards to the final section. Um, let's see what you guys do. So what you need to do is basically, this is the team that you have, and the instructions for this is that you guys need to now vote. If you want to change anybody in this lineup, you put a super chat in. The super chat is open right now. You put the super chat in and you say Tabray Shamsi for Keshav Maharaj. If you put in 14 Rand, 5 Rand, and someone else says, no, 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 I want Shamsi to stay, and they outbid you, that the highest bid gets the position. So I'm going to open it up right now for you guys to do so. Get your super chats in if you want to change anybody in the lineup. I'm not going to leave it for too long here, guys. Um, and I'm just going to give you guys about 2 minutes, 3 minutes to make changes. I'm going to put a timer on. I'm opening it up right now for you guys to be able to vote. I'm putting your super chats if you want to change anybody, and if you think should that whoever you think should play should play. Um, I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes starting now to make your super chat changes, to change who you'd like to see in the lineup. If this is the perfect lineup for you, then keep it as it is. But remember, you only can pick from the squad that is available. And the squad that is available right now is this squad right here. Minus Aiden Markram, of course, and Quentin de Kock, because we're not 100% sure if Quentin's fully fit. He is going through assessments, etc., to see if he's fully fit. But if you guys want to change things around and you want to select someone else to put into the team, then you guys can pay for super chat to make a change, make the changes. So far, the 2 minutes, that's it. That's gone by. There's 1 minute is gone by right now. Um, so if you guys want to change Nokia in for Janssen, he needs game time, says Lawrence Bailey. So that's 14 rand in for Wayne for that's 14 rand in for Nokia in for Janssen. So that's one of the changes that's going to be happening if you guys don't outvote Lawrence. So at the moment, you guys have Lawrence has voted, and we are changing that up. I will change that up for you guys right now. Let's get my bearings now because it's only one person on the stream now, not two. Um, so at the moment, this is the team that you guys have gone with because obviously Janssen has been dropped by Lawrence for this particular game. So that's your current team at the moment. If you want any changes, you have to if you want the changes back, you need to outbid Lawrence. So only 14 Rand beats Lawrence right now. If you guys want to see a change, that's what's going to need to happen. There aren't many options to change, says Vishal. Well, you have an option of getting Marco into the team somewhere. You've got an option to maybe change and put Riza into the team. You got an option of maybe playing some other guys, but this is the current squad that is available and what is currently the side. If you want to get Marco back in, let me know, and you have to outbid Lawrence. You've got 48 seconds left, guys, to vote for this. Um, let me know if that is the case. Um, Let me know if you want to change that team that is currently there. You've got 30 seconds left, guys. So let's see what you guys do. So I have an interesting point that I raided with Paul during the commentary stint on Tuesday. If Timber is still in the 15th over and we have Miller in the dugout, should he decide to retire out? Well, it depends. It depends what he's on. That's actually a very good point, actually, Werner. Um, it depends how he's doing. Yes, I mean that's the timer, guys. So um, the final votes are in. Anrich Nokia has won that race. So I don't think a lot of people obviously disagree with that selection. Maybe and that's why you guys haven't added the super chat for it. So thanks a lot to Lawrence for the super chat to help you guys. I think that's a good idea. Sorry, I was answering Vernon and then I just stopped dead. My brain obviously all over the show again. What I think is, um, what I think is that could be a good option if it's detrimental to the team. Of course, then do so unless he believes that he can still push up the strike rate. But I think it depends on where he is at the time, how he's batting, etc. If his strike rate is good, if he's looking like he's hitting the ball well, it depends on the game situation. But I don't mind that idea. Interesting idea. So to finalize things, this is your team that you guys have selected for the fourth T20 against India. Temba Bavuma, Rassi van der Dussen, Heinrich Klaassen, David Miller, Tristan Stubbs, Dwayne Pretorius, Wayne Parnell, Keshav Maras, Anik Nokia, Kagiso Rabada, and Debray Shamsi. So, guys, that's all we have for you guys today. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash that like button, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell for future videos. We'll put this team on social media for you guys so that you guys can have a look and obviously share it with the rest of the people out there. Um, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow for another review show after the game. Good luck to the Proteas. Good luck to everybody involved. And we'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your long weekend. Enjoy everything that you guys have been doing. And I'll see you guys very soon. Enjoy the game. And yeah, cheers, everyone.